Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jose Gonzalez, and I'm here with a very special guest, my boy Carson. How you doing, Carson?
Pretty good, pretty good. How about you?
Doing all right, man. So you're in college now?
Yeah, I've technically been in college for 2 years because of dual credit programs, but now I'm officially in college. So it's
Mm-hmm.
a lot different, but it's pretty cool. I like it.
So what college are you going to?
Just TVCC.
Cool, man. What classes are you taking?
Physics, so I'm taking that online. It's kind of cool. I had to order a lab kit, so I do all my experiments from home. I have all my own tools and shit. And I take psychology and U.S.
Mm-hmm.
history and professional communications.
So you're trying to major in professional communications?
No, no, that's just one of my classes.
Oh,
It's just like speech, except it's more about using verbal communication day to day rather than just making big speeches in front of crowds.
yeah, like in a professional crowd.
Yeah, and it feels like a more real world application of having to speak and learning how to speak. I really like it. As far as like major goes, I'm undecided, but it's gonna be either engineering or journalism. Uh, but I haven't decided yet. I need more experience in both before I can, say what I really want to do.
Mm-hmm. Uh, in your time in college, are you interested in any clubs or joining one?
Uh, I might be, but TVCC doesn't really have any, at least not at this campus at Terrell. They don't have a lot of programs like that.
Yeah.
They actually don't know of any at TVCC Terrell. So I might, but there's none at TVCC.
Do you know any people from Forney that are going to TVCC?
Uh, None that come to mind right now, honestly, but I haven't recognized a few people. I've seen Anthony Pickens,
Mm.
Jennifer Molina, and Peyton Sego, Catherine Hall. There's at least a few other people, but I'm pulling a blank right now, honestly.
So one of the things I wanted to talk to you about is Forney's a small town, and one question I like to ask locals is, how did you end up in Forney, man?
It's because my dad, when I was younger, looked at what would be like a good place education wise, and he saw that Forney's independent school district was, really well off, and it was just a nice place to live. Back then, because this was back when I was, 3 or 4. And I'm 18 now, so that's 14 years ago. Uh,
Mm.
the town was a lot smaller. Uh, like we didn't even have a Walmart yet. It was like a weird rural small town back then. Now it's a lot more industrialized, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. But that's how it was when we moved here, and we knew that the school program for
Mm.
Forney ISD was going to be pretty good.
Around what year did you move in?
So that would have been 2003, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
I've been
I,
here forever.
sorry, what was that?
No, I said yeah. I've been here forever. It's weird.
Yeah, I only moved in until I think sixth grade. So the Walmart was still there, and the movie theater was still there, but it was Starplex, not AMC, since it is now.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So
definitely.
it's pretty, yeah, it's interesting, like talking to people from Forney that were there earlier. And I'm curious because it's a kind of a small developing town. and it feels interesting being part of it since unlike cities like Chicago, LA, Dallas, or New York, like teenagers are part of its history and like have shaped it in a way. Like from car crashes, tornadoes, storms,
Hmm.
drugs or relationships have like changed or reverberate through our community. And it's just because I've been through different big cities that I moved to, and it's cool like talking to people like you, Carson,
Hmm.
or Scott, or people from the high school that have lived in this small town. Well, not well, started as a small town and just
Yeah.
their memories of it. So, what are some of your favorite memories of Forney that still stick with you?
Definitely 100% looking at the stars when I was younger. The first thing that went away that I noticed that really made me feel like Forney was getting really big was the that you couldn't see the stars at night anymore.
Mm-hmm.
When I was younger, me and my cousins, my brother and sister, we used to have a trampoline in our backyard, and we would go out there and sit like play around on the trampoline. But at night, we'd really like to just chill out and look at the stars. And you can't do that anymore. Not in 40 because there's just too much light pollution from all the stuff that we have now.
Yeah.
So that's the one memory that I'll always have of Forney, and it will always like 100% stick with me.
Uh, what would you say to the new teens coming to Forney?
Hmm. Uh, I'd say I enjoy school like to the best that you can. High school is not made for some people, so it's okay to not enjoy it. Uh, but just try to live life to where you don't have regrets because high school can be fun, and I've watched a lot of people make high school not fun because of their own perceptions of like holding themselves back, like being like school spirit isn't cool when they would be really great as somebody who could help lead cheers, and they might have fun doing it. You know,
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time with like school spirit stuff, and there was times I felt dumb, but then there was times where I just had like a lot of fun with it, and I didn't really care. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, a lot of people think it's cool to be a certain way, but being cool doesn't really matter in the long run. Just do whatever makes you happy, and once you do what makes you happy, and you're unapologetic about it, and you do it for you and for yourself, everybody will start to think you're cool just for that, for doing your own thing. And you'll be thinking you're cool because it feels really great to just follow what you want instead of what somebody else wants.
Mm. So you're like saying prove yourself to others by just being yourself, kind
Yeah,
of way.
pretty much. Don't try and appease others. If you try to make yourself happy, everybody else being happy should kind of fall in line with that. Uh, I found that people really enjoy authenticity from others.
Yeah. I want to fall back to what you said before about school spirit. Because I'm going to be honest, I was one of those guys that wasn't really that big into school spirit
Yeah.
since I moved a lot of schools. So I didn't really see that much or care for much for it.
Hmm.
But you were really involved into that. And I think you were also the mascot for the high school as well, right?
Yeah, I was. I definitely was the mascot. And I don't think it's bad to not have school spirit, but I think it's bad to not have school spirit because that's what you think is cool. And I watched a lot of people do that throughout all of my high school career, where they would
Mm.
just, it's one thing to not, to truly not care or whatever. That's fine. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but there are people who definitely, cared or wanted to care. Because for some people, getting all hyped about your school is part of the high school experience, and I don't I think that it is, for a lot of people, and
Yeah.
that the last thing that should stop you from enjoying your high school experience to the fullest is somebody being like, it's not cool for you to, be all excited about our football games, our football team sucks, blah, blah, blah. Uh,
Hmm.
our football team did suck. So I could definitely see why a lot of people had a hard time, having fun. When I was the mascot and our team lost, that was not fun for me. And
Yeah.
we only won one game while I was mascot. Uh,
Yeah.
so I definitely see, like, after a while, it's like, it's so hard to support, but, it's not that serious. I think if a lot of people can just kind of endorse it and have fun with it, because like the last year, you can do it ironically. That's a lot of fun. Uh, I used to say True North and do like True North type things, just because I thought it was fun and funny, not because like I was really all about North Forney and everything. And that made my last year a little bit more enjoyable for me. Uh, just be able to joke around and say, "Oh, True North." It's you can see school spirit as something like that instead of like a legitimate I'm a North Forney diehard, and then like
Hmm.
get crazy and pull out pitchforks over Unity Bowl or whatever.
Oh, remember the bathroom flood or whatever in the third floor.
Yeah, I had forgotten about that, honestly. It was really cool because all our classes got relocated and then school got canceled. So, I just got to miss school. Uh, yeah, I got to miss some school and I got to miss some class. It was kind of at a rough time in the year because I was
Hmm.
studying for some AP calculus stuff at the time. Uh,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it gave me a break from, the calculus in our class. And we still worked, but, when the school's flooded and you're in the auditorium instead of the actual like classroom, it can really affect like the sort of atmosphere of the classroom. And it was a lot more relaxed, and I think made us all feel a little bit better about the test. And our test actually got pushed back a week
Yeah.
because of the flooding. So it gave me more time to study for my calculus exam, and it was really cool.
Yeah, because it happened like towards the end of the year. It was a bit tense because AP tests, we're
Yeah.
about to graduate, and the elections and all that. So it was kind of a funny or like way to like relax or something that the flood happened. Like, great, this happened, so it's a way to just laugh about.
Yeah, I've noticed that a change that is going to be prevalent for a short amount of time is always comforting. You know,
Mm.
like whenever we were in school, if we had a week where everything would be out of whack, it was always a good week. I really think that, having a week where you don't go to your normal classes, and even if y'all are doing the same work, you just don't go to the same setting, that sort of change of scenery, change of atmosphere and mood can be really, really, really beneficial to the students and their motivation and teachers alike. So I think it
Yeah.
worked out really well, especially with its placement in the year, to at least give me personally the rest of
Mm.
the boost that I needed to get through my senior year and do stuff like my calculus exam.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Because whenever we had like testing and all that, somehow in the back of my mind, I had like, I hoped that hopefully my class is gonna get relocated or something. I don't know why, but yeah. I think it was because of what you were saying before. And now that I'm realizing that, because maybe it's just the change in setting and all that.
Yeah, it's really nice to. I don't think like a lot of people like to have long term change or uh, change that's gonna affect them for a while. But just getting relocated for a day, I think, is like a healthy amount of change that anybody could really agree on.
Hmm. So moving on from that is, what's your favorite elementary, middle school, and high school memory?
Elementary years is probably gonna be the trampoline again.
And what about middle school? What's your favorite middle school memory?
Probably going to my friend Troy's house because we used to have all our friends go over there and we just have LAN parties and play video games all night.
I think I also remember y'all did movies as well, right?
They definitely made a movie at some point, but I was not a part of that. And I know that Noah McClung made some movies too,
Yeah.
but he made those separately.
Uh,
But I think I did. There was definitely like videos made in that group, but I didn't have a lot of involvement in any of those.
and what about high school?
For high school, favorite memories definitely being in the musical my junior year.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Being in Happy Days was by far the most enjoyable thing I did in high school. It's the one thing it's the only thing.
So what are you working on right now? What are your plans for the future, man?
For now, I'm still pretty short term. I want to get settled in the life that I have right now before I think of my move for what's next. Uh, I have a
Yeah.
few general ideas for what I want to do with my life, but none that are concrete yet. I'm still in like a pretty early planning phase of what I want to do next, but long term, I think I either want to be an engineer or journalist. Not really sure. I just like math and I like writing. So that's really all I have to go off those. But I have about another year to decide, and I'm going to use that year to decide. But short term for now, I'm starting to save up for a new car because my car is becoming less and less reliable, and thinking about a new
Yeah.
job. Uh, that's pretty much all that's on my mind right now. All I do is because I work full time and I'm a full time student. I don't honestly don't have a whole lot of free time. Uh,
Yeah.
but I'm fine with that. It's like I actually like being busy. It's better to be busy than to have like a bunch of free time and not know what to do with myself. I really like
Yeah.
having nonstop work and just being occupied and always like I'm not being occupied with dumb things. I can always think to
Yeah.
myself while I'm at work or while I'm at school. I'm not just wasting my time. I'm getting some money so I can pay for my school, or I'm getting so I can get something that I save up for and enjoy, like a new video game, or while I'm at school, I'm getting my education so I can uh, become an engineer or writer later, whatever I want to do. Uh, so
Yeah.
I really enjoy it though. I don't want to sound like I complain about, being a full-time student and worker. A lot of people I feel like, complain about it, but I don't think it's that bad, you know. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm kind of used to it. I worked, like 30-hour weeks while I went to high school, and I had, college classes then. So I think I don't know if it's because it's not that new to me or whatever, but I don't think it's that bad. I think a lot of like I've heard a lot of people say they don't want to work through college, but it's a lot easier than I thought it would be, and I think people should do it.
Yeah.
They shouldn't hold themselves back from that if they want to go to school.
So during school, you ever thought of picking up any new hobbies or anything like that?
No, mostly. time. Like anytime I think of a hobby, I'm like, wow, I really don't have time for a new hobby, but I would like one. I I mess around with like certain things that I think could be a hobby all the time. Like I like to write a lot in my free time. I like to write poetry or freestyle with friends. So I guess that's my main hobby for right now, but I don't really put a lot of time into it because, like I said, just not a whole lot of free time.
Well, to me, you seem to be like a sort of a trendsetter as well, or a follower, or sometimes making your own style. What are some of your outside influences that help you choose your style?
Like fashion wise,
Yeah.
uh, it 100% started with my mom because she loves like thrift shopping and going to garage sales and stuff.
Hmm.
And she would just buy random clothes from, random people, whether it's Forney Treasure Exchange or it was a garage sale. But she'd just always come home with like random clothes. And and I liked a lot of them. A lot of them she would just buy because they were a good deal. And if I didn't like it, they'd resell. And she started to notice that I had a really like particular taste, I guess. Uh, like that I enjoyed clothes that weren't completely orthodox or were like something that just anybody would wear.
Yeah.
So she started buying me a bunch of those clothes, and so I have a really uh, big appreciation for thrift shopping now. But it because of my mom, buying me all those clothes and stuff. That I really started to enjoy wearing clothes. And they and as far as like trend setting or if anybody else wants to do something like that, really all I do is dress exactly how I want and not really like there's definitely a lot of like uh, negative opinions I get about what I like to wear and stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't really care. Because I put the clothes on at the beginning of the day because I wanted to wear them, not because I wanted somebody to want me to wear them. So when some random person is like, "Wow, this isn't cool" or whatever, I don't really care because if I'm wearing it, that means I looked at it and I was like, "Wow, I think this is cool." And it's really important for people to hold on to that because as long as you think it's cool and it's not like something that's offensive or disgusting or bad or whatever,
Mm.
nobody can really stop you from wearing it, so don't let anybody stop you from wearing it. Just have fun. I think it's your clothes, it's your body. If you want to look good and you think wearing whatever makes you look good, wear that. And have fun with it. Whatever, like I really truly try to express myself through my clothes because I just like looking at my outfit and thinking like this is me. Uh, and people like that. I think people like the authenticity of what I wear
Yeah.
more so than what I wear. Like I don't think like I think people can kind of just see that I like to wear what I like to wear and they like that more than anything. Because I don't think I wear anything like all that special. I just wear stuff that I like.
So to you, like, uh, the clothes like help you express yourself as in a way
Yeah,
of
exactly. Uh, it's my number one form of expression for myself. Uh, like I put a lot of thought into what I wear on like vacations and stuff. When I'm like casually just chilling or going around town, I don't put a lot of thought into it. But if I go on vacation, when I pack my bag, I pack like 10 outfits for like 5 days, and I gotta have like all my certain outfits and stuff because I really enjoy dressing up and dressing for occasions and that type of thing.
So, what are some of your favorite like fashion eras or decade that you wear?
Oh, definitely 80s and 90s. I like 90s windbreakers a lot. I think that's just when people started like feeling like colors could express themselves really well. But at the same time, the 90s also has grunge, and I like that look too. Uh, and I think uh, like I use a lot honestly because I don't think anybody should. Like I try to not commit myself to one sort of style. Uh, I don't think anybody should. Like, I mean, if you're, true to that, personality or whatever, go for it. But I feel like I'm a multi-dimensional person, so I don't have a style that I think looks like me and
Mhm.
expresses me well. So I like my outfits have like I feel like different styles that influence them, uh, in different moods, and like they each give different impressions of who I am. When I wear my oversized sweater with my hair all the way down in my face, it's a different impression than when I wear my uh, slim button up with my hair in a ponytail and with my
Mhm.
glasses. You know, I don't like to. I don't want to dress just as like a grunge kid or just like a hippie or just like some 80s icon or whatever. That it's just like there's a lot of different things that make me who I am, and depending on the day, I'll dress on whichever factor I feel like I want to emphasize that day, and
Yeah.
show who I am. Or sometimes like it's purely just I look good like this. Like I don't really care like the implications of what it says as much as like I'm just like I feel like I look good like this.
Seem to be also a music enthusiast.
Yeah, definitely. I really like music a lot. I try to get into it, but that's also a thing that I might be saving up for. I haven't decided. I wanted to start making some music, but it's expensive to get started. Uh, and it's like, I don't know if I'm gonna be good at it. Do I really want to, drop a whole lot of money into it and then like not enjoy it or not be good at it?
Yeah.
Uh, but de- I'm definitely into writing lyrics. That's why I wanted to get into like making beats and producing so I could, make my own song from scratch. But I'm actually very content just being a music enthusiast and not having any part in like the creative process and adding to the music catalog, except I'd really like to one day. But I don't see it happening in any other way other than like a friend asked me, "Hey, would you like to feature on my song?"
Mm.
Because I don't think unless like something changes that I will see the need or have the drive to push myself to make my own songs because I feel like I'd have to learn a lot more about music. Right now, I just kind of enjoy it and I know a lot of about what makes it sound good. I feel like, but
Mhm.
I don't know anything about making it.
So, what are some of your favorite genres and why?
Uh, my favorite genre is probably I want to call it black music from like the 70s and 80s, like and that's a broad term because it could be like soul or some funk or disco,
Mhm.
even rock, and especially rap. Uh, but there's a certain amount of energy that I find in those songs. I feel like that I really really like, and that really inspires me, and that I think we need more music like today. Like I listen to the Jacksons or the Jackson Five. I really enjoy some of that. Rick James,
Mhm.
Earth, Wind, and Fire. There's just a certain amount of energy that I think you can find in those songs, and I felt like that after I read an interview with Childish Gambino, because he uh, I don't know if you're familiar with his new album,
Yeah.
Awaken My Love.
Mhm.
So he says that that same genre is what inspired him to make his new album. Like he wanted to capture that energy and that life from those artists and what they were trying to do, and that's something that I think like that we need more of in music today. I think it's a great one to have. But I really do love all genres of music. I like to look at the inspiration behind them. Like I like the hardcore scene. Right now, I went to my first hardcore show a few weeks ago, and that was pretty fun.
Hmm.
Uh, I really enjoy. I think rap's probably the most fun right now because of SoundCloud and seeing new rappers and new styles. It's almost like anybody anywhere can become a rapper, especially through SoundCloud. And I think it's my favorite genre right now because of that. It's kind of like the people's genre in my mind.
Yeah.
Because literally anybody anywhere for like less than $1,000 can get the equipment they need, and they have the tools that they need to become a famous artist. Uh, so I like that. I always felt like when I was listening to music, and you watch shows like American Idol, you're like, wow, a lot of these people have, the talent to be a big artist, but only this one is going to get it. And, sometimes that's not even fair, the one that gets it.
Yeah.
But I feel like with an app like SoundCloud and how widely used it is right now, that anybody who has a natural talent for making music is going to be discovered, and they're going to, like I think as long as you have the talent and the ability to make good music, and as long as you continue to make that music on SoundCloud, you're going to blow up because uh, that's just like it's made to help people do that. And anybody can now. Like there's nothing stopping anybody from just uploading a track to SoundCloud.
Yeah. See what you mean. And we could make a whole entire discussion about that as well. But how did you first discover a love for music?
Hmm.
Or what was the first band or artist that you thought, man, I really want to hear more of this stuff?
I think Kendrick Lamar probably. Uh, yeah, Kendrick Lamar kind of. No, he definitely made me realize the full potential of music. Because I feel like his music is very satisfying on several levels. Uh, First, like a lot of them can sound good. They have extremely high production quality and good. Like he's just good at rapping. He's just like the best out there right now, and he
Hmm.
has songs that have very very deep meaning. That like when I look at the lyrics or listen to them and I try to figure out like what they mean and what he was thinking. It almost feels like I'm back in a English class analyzing, some famous poet's work, and I think Kendrick Lamar is, he in his music he capitalizes on and puts every output he can to the max. Like he has max production, he has max lyricism, he has max themes, like depth. He just goes all out. And once I finally like, because I didn't like Kendrick Lamar until Damn came out, and then I heard Humble,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, wow, this was really good. So then I listened to a little bit more of him, and I listened to uh, Good Kid, Mad City, and after listening to Good Kid, Mad City, I kind of had a new opinion on music and what I felt like it could be, because I didn't think about using music for, like, you get people use it for deep messages, but people don't use it like, he makes poetry, in my opinion. Like, he actually has some real depth to his writing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just
Yeah.
see 110% go into every aspect of the music that he makes, and that's where I realized, like, wow, music has like potential to be so much.
Uh, if you could have any music artist as a close friend, who would it be?
Probably Chance the Rapper. He just has, he has a lot of good vibes, and I definitely looked up to him for a long time. Uh, he'd be, just his mindset, and how he does things is like a really good way, I think, to conduct oneself. And he's always giving back to his community, and like always seems to have positivity just like leaking out of him.
And also, I believe that you're a movie fan as well. So, what are some of your favorite actors or directors?
Actors,
Yeah.
Leonardo DiCaprio is definitely one of my he's probably my number one. He's just really good. He seems to put all that he can into his roles, and yeah, definitely just him. But I've come to appreciate actors a lot less. Like, I don't think there's a lot of actors that are as good as Leonardo DiCaprio out there. So I don't appreciate a lot of actors, if I'm being honest. I do like Jennifer Lawrence too, because she has like really good acting ability. But I think she's kind of annoying as a person. But what I've really come to appreciate more so is you know movies themselves, and more so because of the production and the director than the actual actors. Like, I really like Quentin Tarantino films. Just the visual appeal of those movies and the structure of them. Just really good. Just really good.
Do you have any other favorite directors besides Quentin Tarantino?
Uh, Not any directors that I know that made multiple films that I like, but I of films like Quentin Tarantino films aren't the top of my favorites. They're just, he's the only person who has multiple movies that I enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite movie is probably Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Uh,
He's by Charlie Kaufman, I think.
that sounds about right. I don't know, but yeah, I really like that one. I think that's the movie that made me kind of realize, or no, My Suicide, I think, is My Suicide and Eternal Sunshine are my two favorite movies. And they're kind of the movies that I watched and that made me kind of realize I really liked movies.
Have you seen any of Charlie Kaufman's movies?
I have not.
Man, this is a recommendation from me to you. If you like the Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind, I may have butchered the title, by the way, but uh, the director really has a lot of movies about that, like about life or art imitating life. You should really look into them.
I will. Charlie Kaufman, you said?
Yeah, or just look at the director who made Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind.
Very true, very true.
And if you could have a part in any of your favorite movies, what would it be?
If I could do what? I'm sorry.
Have a part in any of your favorite movie, what movie would it be?
Uh, I'd probably be Spider-Man because that was my favorite movie growing up. And that's just Peter Parker's just a really good character in my opinion.
I'm gonna throw some random questions in. All right. First one is, have you played any sports?
Yeah, I was in football, cheer if you count that, track, powerlifting, and cross country actually.
And what is your least favorite sport to watch?
Golf.
What's your favorite video game?
Probably Overwatch or League of Legends.
And if you could visit any country right now, which one would it be?
Probably Canada or Australia.
And this is more of a question of curiosity. Are you vegetarian or vegan?
Neither. I was vegan for a few weeks for my environmental science class, and then another time because my sister dared me that I couldn't. But I'm neither right now. But I was vegan when I was one of them.
All right, man. And if you could discover a new country, what would its name be, and what kind of government would you put on it?
Name? I have zero idea. Probably make it reflective of the features of it or something. I actually have zero. I'm so bad with names. But form of government, a direct democracy, not like where we have the electoral college and stuff right now. I think the electoral college is pretty dumb and needs to be done away with. So I'd have a similar system that we have now, but probably less capitalist, and I can't specify on that. I don't know how to do that, but ideally less capitalist and with without the electoral college.
All right, man. I guess this wraps the whole thing up, man. Do you have any last words before we part ways?
Thanks for your time, and it was nice catching up with you, my man.
All right. Those are the last words of good friend Carson. Join us next time, and we'll see you then.
All right, peace out, man.